One of the elements I mentioned in the elements of a short story lesson was theme. Now that we have learned about all the other elements, such as plot, setting, and character, we are ready to begin putting all of these elements together to create a theme statement. A theme statement is the lesson that readers can learn about life or human nature from reading a text. As humans, we are constantly trying to figure out the intricacies of life and human nature. Authors use their writing to convey their thoughts, feelings, and ideas about life and human nature. In the past, we have looked at the theme of a text by using only one word. Some common themes include honesty, perseverance, and loss. However, we are now ready to take everything one step further and create a statement that clearly explains what readers can learn about that theme. For example, what might an author want us to learn about honesty, perseverance, or loss? Let's take a look at some examples. Both examples deal with the idea of honesty. However, it is clear from the theme statements that the two different texts examined convey two completely opposite ideas about honesty. The first statement, people should practice honesty at all times to create relationships that are built upon trust, suggests that honesty is something that all people should practice. However, the second example, honesty is not always the best option, often it is useful to be dishonest to protect feelings and relationships, suggests that honesty should be used only when necessary and that it is not always the best option. Again, notice that both of these examples deal with honesty, but two different lessons are learned. Once you are ready to create a theme statement, follow these steps. The first thing you should do is determine a subject. The subject is the one word that is the subject of the theme statement. Next, find evidence from the text that deals with the subject. To do this, ask yourself some of the following questions. What characters struggle with the subject? How are people affected by the subject? The more specific examples you can find, the better your theme statement will be. Finally, use the evidence compiled to create a theme statement that follows these following 9 rules. Your theme statement should: Number 1, be written in a complete declarative sentence. Notice all parts of that rule. Complete sentence, only one sentence, and a sentence that is declarative, not a question or an exclamation. Rule number 2, your theme statement should not be offensive. This means that the theme statement should not be offensive to any potential readers. For example, if the lesson is about the obesity epidemic, your theme statement should not be, all obese people are gross. That theme statement will probably offend many readers and you will lose potential audiences. Rule number 3, your theme statement should not be too broad. Your theme statement needs to be narrow enough that it has a clear focus. Focus on one subject and one lesson that is learned about that subject. Rule number 4, your theme statement should not contain weakening phrases like I think, I believe, or in my opinion. Your audience will know that it is your opinion and it's what you think. Using these statements will only diminish your credibility. Rule number 5, your theme statement should not be expressed in vague, muddled, incoherent, figurative, or cliched language. Your theme statement should be clear and not left up to interpretation. This is the rule that most students break because it is easy to use figurative language or a cliche to teach a lesson. However, figurative language and cliches are often left up to interpretation, and somebody could interpret the lesson wrong. Therefore, if you notice that you use figurative language or a cliche in your theme statement, you need to determine exactly what it is you are trying to say and just say it. Rule number 6, your theme statement should be written only in the third person. This is another error that is commonly made when writing a theme statement. Therefore, this is the one you should always make sure you have followed. It is easy to use the word you and overlook it. We will see some examples of this one later. Rule number 7, your theme statement should avoid contractions and grammatical errors. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Rule number 8, your theme statement should not be an announcement or a factual statement. Don't come out and say, the theme is, or try to say the theme is something that is known as truth. If it's a truth, then nobody would need to persuade others to agree with them through their stories. And finally, rule number 9, your theme statement should not contain unrelated elements. Again, focus on only one subject and one lesson that can be learned about that subject. These 9 rules are a lot to take in, but I promise really great theme statements can be written following these rules. Once you write a theme statement that discusses what can be learned from the text, it will most likely need to be edited. Oftentimes, the first statement will break one or more of these rules. After discovering a broken rule, rewrite that statement to ensure that the rule is not broken. You may have to repeat this step multiple times.